For 3 years, Muhammad Ali was the undisputed world champion of heavyweight boxing. He won the title in a match with Sonny Liston in 1964. He lost it in 1967 in a bout with the New York Boxing Commission, which summarily removed the title from him when he refused induction into the United States Army. He won the next round in the courts. They overturned his conviction. But he failed to regain the title from the man who had inherited it during his 4 years of enforced idleness, Joe Frazier. Their 15-round bout in 1971 resulted in a decision favoring Frazier. As a fighter, Muhammad Ali has a style in the ring that is as distinctive as his theatricality out of the ring. Both helped to make him one of the most colorful and controversial fighters in the history of the game. Ali, what does it take to be a world champion, other than winning fights? Does it take something more to be a world champion?
That's a good question. Whether it's a world champion boxer, a basketball player, a track star, a horse, even animals. I find out that this Mark Spitz, for an example, he's a world champion. But what made him the world champion was that he seemed to, at the right time when the pressure's down, at the last few yards, he can get that lead, or he's got enough left to make it. I fought Ken Norton, my last fight. The fight was even up until the last round, but I had something that he didn't have, although I'm much older, and that was the last-minute kick.
What's that last-minute kick? Is that something?
Just the stamina, the strength, the
mental, more than training,
the mental capacity, to realize what's involved and how important it is to make your body do something. It's really too tired to do. Your mind makes you do it. Mark Spitz, this Olympic track star I was mentioning, he wasn't that much greater than all the people in the world, but sometimes he won by just that much. And a champion is just one who can come out at the last minute and close the show. As they say, the star closes the show. A 14, 15-round fight, and it's even, and usually this champion, you can depend on him to come through at the last few seconds and find some energy from somewhere.
Is it discipline? Or
not only that, it's mental and physical. His body's in physical shape to do it, plus mentally too. He's got himself in condition where both fellas may be, sometimes the will can outdo the skill. And sometimes a fella's will is stronger than the man who's actually better physically, and the determination and weakens the other man, just to see him so determined.
Well, you've got to have self-confidence. You've got to build up your self-confidence.
You have to have that, too. And this is what Joe Frazier had, a lot of self-confidence. My skill outdid his will the second time, but Joe Frazier takes a lot of punches, and he just keeps coming until a man just gets disheartened, and he gives up.
When you first began fighting, when you were young, did you have an image of someone or something that you were fighting against?
No, not fighting against. I styled myself after, which has changed now, but I don't think about it now because I've become much more popular and wealthy than this fighter. But Sugar Ray Robinson was one who at that time looked so great to myself, and I styled a lot of my stuff after him.
He was kind of a hero then.
Moving to myself in boxing, and everybody who understands boxing, white or black, or I don't care what country or what who, they'll tell you Sugar Ray Robinson was best pound for pound. Rhythm, class, footwork, speed, beauty, everything in one.
Well, I understand that you took up boxing almost accidentally. It had to do with the theft of a $60 bicycle, and you're reporting it to a policeman in Louisville.
Right. So I was at a home show where they sell cars and display frigidaires and stuff, and the kids go there to eat the free popcorn and peanuts. And there, my bicycle was outside. I went out, it was raining that night, and there was somebody stole it, and I reported it to the nearest policeman. They told me it was in the basement of the same building where the home show was. Joe Martin, he told me to fill out a boxing application, and he'll look for
He was a policeman and a man who instructed in boxing?
Right. He had about 60 boys a night. He had an amateur show called Tomorrow's Champions in Louisville. I fought on this show about 35 times.
You made your debut on TV then?
Yeah, Tomorrow's Champions. It's strange. The name of the show was. The first fight I was supposed to have was with a fellow named James Ellis, who was also once the heavyweight champion, but he lost it. And two fellows from Louisville, Kentucky, on this show, and the name was Tomorrow's Champions, and we were world champions. It's really strange.
How old were you then?
I was about 12 and he was about 14.
So you started boxing then when you were 11 or 12?
Yes, I've been boxing probably since I was 12.
Yeah.
12
Now,
years.
you hadn't thought of taking up boxing before this?
No.
You came from a family, your father was a commercial artist, wasn't he?
A good sign painter, made good money. Mother was just a housewife.
You didn't grow up in any kind of poverty or the kind of grinding poverty that sometimes is the case.
We could always use money, same with Rockefeller and all the rest, they can always use money. But we weren't actually in poverty, but we were scuffling and we made it.
There were 2 boys in the family, is that right?
Right.
And your name, Cassius Marcellus Clay, you abandoned because it was a slave name.
Well, this is a name given to his great-grandfather, somebody, by his master. And
so it actually was a slave name. That is, Cassius Marcellus Clay was the name of the master of...
Yeah, he was happened to be a rebel. He was a bad slave fighter, they say, fought against slavery. And after claiming the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and getting a thorough knowledge of myself, then it was kind of embarrassing calling himself after a slave name. Like to see, just if you saw a black fella in a dashiki in a robe and an afro haircut, and you asked him his name, and he says George Washington. It just don't go. All people have their names. Chinese have Chinese names. Germans have Germans names. If I said here come Weinstein or Goldberg, it's a Jew. Or here come White Cloud or Silver Moon, it's Indian. But if I said here come Jones, Clay, Washington, you don't know what color it is. So Honorable Elijah Muhammad, our religious leader, teaches us that we must go back into the names of our ancestors to be respected worldwide. And it made sense. And since I've accepted the name Muhammad Ali, I've been invited to probably 60-something Islamic nations that don't recognize nothing, no sport.
Your brother, his name was Rudolph Valentino Clay. Yeah. Obviously not from a slave master in this particular case.
Well, it was a Caucasian name, and probably not from that master himself, but it is of that. Everybody black today that have white names, they are not names probably that their great-great-grandfather was given, but it is a particular name of a master or somebody.
You graduated from high school in Louisville, where you were born.
Right.
Had you any thought then to what you might become other than a fighter?
No, my purpose at the age of 12 was boxing. And I was real lucky that I made my mind up then. Every kid at the age of 12 should find out what he want to do and start, because life is real short.
That's very unusual at the age of 12 to know what you want to do.
Yeah, I really knew that I want to be a fighter. Be a fighter, not only a fighter, but a fighter who stayed with his people, married his own race, and didn't sell his people and forget them because he could get rich. Like many of them, I saw many celebrities and black and white women and movie stars that marry out of their own race and seem to feel their own people are not good enough after they get rich. And this is a thing among black people, how we're known for leaving once we make it in Hollywood or movie or whatever we are. So I wanted to be one world.
You felt this way at a very early age?
Yes, this didn't just come up. The things that I've stood for and represent was always in me. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and hearing the teachings of Islam brought it out, but this has always been in me, freedom for my people and standing up, being independent.
And you were going to be a champion from the very beginning? No,
I didn't really know, but I was determined to. And usually when a person is drunk with the wine of success, if 99 times they fail, the 100th time they're going to succeed. And I was drunk with the wine of success. Had a few failures, even after they took my title. For 3 years for the Army, I still didn't give up. And I'm back now. It's like old news, the draft case. I'm here. Everybody calls me under the name Mohammed. They didn't want to at first.
Why do you suppose they resisted that? All the press said, Muhammad Ali, also known as, and so forth.
Some had different reasons. Some didn't want to wake up the masses of the blacks, like Luau Sundo. His name is now Kareem Jabbar, big basketball. Joe Tex, his name is Yusuf Haziz, a great rock and roll singer. Walt Hazard, great basketball player, I forgot, he's got another name, Abdul Rahman or something. And many black people find out that they have white names and they're waking up and they don't want a white name. It's so true. So a lot of them didn't want to call me this, I guess, because they didn't want the thing to spread. And a lot of them did it out of ignorance. A lot of them did it because it was just so used to Clay and didn't want to change it. Like most movie stars and people I find out have new names, but they changed them before they got real big.
Yeah. Bud Schulberg, in his book about you, says that thinking is the key to the ring. What goes through your head in a fight? Is it Are you concentrating on the fight itself?
I'm concentrating
on the opponent?
round by round. I take it round by round. I watch the man to see how tired he's getting, how much stamina he's got.
But it's more than instinct, it's more than training. Your mind is working.
Oh, yes. Boxers are some of the most brilliant people in the world, whether they can read or write or not or speak, because you're in the ring and you're being hit at, and you have to sometimes just assume the man's going to punch and move before you do, because sometimes you're that close and it's hard to wait for him to throw it and get away. It takes a lot of thinking to come out of the ring. Like myself, I mean, like I have no scratches or marks, really. There's no real features turned, but I've been fighting now for 20 years, and I've been in the ring 180 times. Plus, I missed thousands of times with the training and getting ready for each fight. And if you look at my face, you don't see nothing.
Do you have mental preparation for the fight as well?
Well, you have to be ready. If your body's ready physically, you have to realize what's involved, how much can be lost if you lose a fight. Like I was lucky to get another shot at Norton. I was lucky to get another shot at Frazier. You have to realize what's involved, and losing sometimes get your mind ready. My mind wasn't ready for the first Frazier fight or the first Norton. Second time I got serious and did a lot better. Yeah. But mental ability plays a lot, knowing when and what to do.
What about the theatricality? It's made you both colorful and also controversial. The poetry, all the theatrics. Do you regard fighting as essentially show business?
Well, it's kind of hard for an ordinary person to do both. I've been blessed to have the natural ability to write poems, predict rounds, and create things that people like.
Did you predict rounds or simply fight to end it in that round? You couldn't very well predict, could you?
Well, all tricks, there's a gimmick behind it, they say, or something, with hands fast and I predicted 15 times when I would stop or knock a man out. About 11 of them was right. And even one time, funny thing happened with Archie Moore. He was an old man at the time. You remember Archie Moore? Yes. And he had not saying that you're an old man, but Archie Moore, around your time, he must be in his 50s now, Archie. And I predicted round 4. I said, when you come to the fight, don't block the aisles and don't block the door, for you all may go home after round 4.
I remember that.
And Moore was falling in the 3rd round,
yes.
And I grabbed him. I said, don't you fall, don't you fall. In the 4th round, I got him. But there have been a few fights where it seemed like I may have gotten the man earlier and I lightened up just to wait for the next one. That's happened. But this is not carrying a man. Some will say it's just up to me if I'm taking a chance on losing myself if I don't get him now, but it's up to me to do it if I want to.
Well, you've been pretty flamboyant outside the ring as well. Colorful, flamboyant, outspoken. The Louisville Lip, you were called for some time. You're a very quiet man now. Well, I think you're probably a quiet man most of the time.
Well, you know, I do a lot of campaigning. Like President Nixon, any president or mayor.
It is campaigning.
When he's trying to get in office, he walks the streets, he goes to the taxi cab drivers, and he goes to the factories, and he's the hard hat men, and he picks up the babies, and once he get in office, you need a necktie and a government appointment to see him. But a day or two, he's out passing out pamphlets saying, vote for me, and how you doing, fella? And after he gets in office, you don't have to do that no more. So,
I see.
All the talking and hollering. But I'll think up something for the next fight, like Frazier fight. We got in a little floor scuffle. That just comes. These things come. I don't know who the next fight might be. George Foreman.
But that's good for business, so to speak.
Yes, I have something for George Foreman.
You do?
Yes, I got to get George Foreman. I have a new one to promote that fight. I'm going to get him because after he was in that Olympic Games, John Carlos and these black brothers who was holding up their fists, he was going around carrying the American flag, and no flag waver will whoop me.
I see.
Don't you think they'll sell the fight?
I think so. And selling the fight's important. Ali, despite these tossed off little couplets of yours, you do take poetry seriously.
Yes, I wrote a poem about this show.
You did?
Yes, we were coming over and I asked her what was the budget. I had come all the way from South Side Chicago to here. The fight's over, I want to rest. So she kept saying, we have no budget, we have no budget. And I see you, and then I was going to get a couple of cups of coffee, and I had to even buy the coffee.
You did?
Terrible. So I wrote a poem. I said, I love your show, and I admire your style, but your budget is so cheap, I won't be back for a while.
I've been knocked out in the first round. You've been invited to be a professor of poetry, have you not?
Yes, I was invited. I thought it was a joke at first, but they're real serious. They wanted me to teach poetry at Oxford University, one of the highest seats of learning in the world. I read a lot of poems.
Serious poems in this case.
Yes, I got one I'd like you to hear entitled Truth. It says, "The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is Elijah Muhammad. Wisdom's message is his rod. The sign of truth is the crescent, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last. That's the type of stuff that gets me in Oxford University. But these poems I don't have for boxers. Like for boxers, I give them what they want to hear.
Sure.
Like I have a lot of speed and a lot of endurance. If you sign to fight me, increase your insurance.
Yes, I remember
Stuff
that one.
like that,
Yes.
you know. Somebody told me Joe Frazier was awful strong. I told him to try band roll on. Stuff like that, you know.
Ali, what strength do you get from Allah, from your Muslim religion? You draw strength from it.
Allah is a term that we throughout the world, which numbers some probably 800 million, is a proper name for the divine supreme being, which many say God. We refer to him as Allah. And all strength, just the remembrance of Allah is great. Just praying, if we can, 5 times a day, at least in the mornings, and when I wake up, when I go to bed, and in a taxi cab, or just every moment or after, before a meal, helps you. And all strength and all power and everything comes from Allah. We have in our prayer, my sacrifices, my prayers, my life, and my death all for Allah. And so everything I do, I go with Allah in mind, and the freedom and the justice and the equality of 40 million black people in the country, and everything that I do, everything that I'm saying now, this is on my mind, hoping that somebody can be influenced.
I thought that the black Muslims did not believe or did not approve of boxing, of fighting.
Well, we don't use the word, number one, black Muslim. It's Muslim. The Islamic teachings has no color distinction. We actually have white Muslims, brown Muslims, red Muslims, yellow Muslims, and black ones. So I'm gonna get that clear. It's up to Allah, God, and His messenger to decide who's true or not. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the religion of Islam, we do not promote and do not back sports. But I was a minister at the time that I was boxing, and I was expelled by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and told if I want boxing to get it out of my system, and when I'm finished with the job I had to do and things I was obligated to, then he'll consider me back. So
I see.
I'm staying as
So
good
you're
as
no
I
longer a
can.
minister, but you may be accepted back as a minister.
As soon as I'm finished with the title, I'm going to do all I can for me, get on my knees and crawl to him and ask him to allow me to represent him.
Yeah. When you lost your title, of course, when you refused induction into the draft, what went through your mind on that day in Houston when you did not step forward and you knew that...
Before I stepped forward?
No, you did not step forward. What went,
after I didn't step forward?
After you didn't step forward. What went through your mind? You knew that there was quite a bit at stake on the one hand, and you knew that you had convictions on the other.
What happened after that really don't mean too much. Is what happened before when I was standing up waiting for the man to call me.
That's what I mean. What went through your mind before you...
Well, I thought about all the black people that's been here for 400 years, lynched and raped and killed by the Americans, who the only enemy we've actually knew. No Japanese, no Viet Cong, no Chinese. And then I saw this little young white fellow my age acting as though he was God, telling me to step forward to go to Vietnam to shoot some Asiatic people They never called me nigger, never lynched me. This is in my mind. Never put dogs on me. I'm getting ready to make a bold stance. You have to think of something to make me strong. Never. I fought in the Japanese war. My brothers fought in the German war, the Korean war. We still, the Chinese, the Viet Cong, the Japanese are more citizens in America than us. And now I got all these black people out here waiting to see what I do, and they waiting to be slaughtered. And the white ones too, for nothing unjust now that they see, which it was. Now I'm going to be called to step forward, like God told me don't kill nobody. And now here's a man telling me to step forward because of flags over his head. And he's not God, so what do I really believe in God, Allah? Do I really believe the truth that Elijah Muhammad teaches? And when he asked me to step forward, I just stood there. And with time I thought about that, and 2 men before he called me, I was just anxious. I just couldn't wait until he called me just to say no. And then I really knew I was wrong and it was against my belief. I rather went to jail in the Supreme Court, and they saw that I was serious, and they gave me justice and let me go on the belief that I was serious in what I believe.
Does patriotism mean anything to you? That is allegiance to a nation, or?
My allegiance, I think, should be, and this is me speaking not as a representative of Elijah Muhammad, because I don't know what he himself would say or anybody representing it, but me speaking individually, patriotism, I would just obeying the law as long as it don't conflict with my religious beliefs, and obeying God's law, which should be satisfactory to any country. No stealing, no killing, no outright misusing people. Treat those like you want to be treated. When you say patriotism, I don't know what American patriotism would mean. You know, like if they say stand to salute the flag, I do that out of respect because I'm in the country. And like this nation goes to other countries, they stand and salute the flag. And I would do that, but in my heart, I wouldn't say I love that flag. As a matter of fact, I don't love the American flag. I'd be crazy to say I love a flag that's brought my people here, and the same flag that's mistreating our people in poverty, and the same flag to respect everybody. I bet you today, I can say on your show, 2 ordinary black men can go downtown in a city and open a coffee shop or a clothing store. 2 Viet Cong, former enemies, can go and open, and they'll do better business than the black Americans. It's a shame to say, but it's true. So I've been here 400 years and fought in all the wars and serving so faithful as a slave, building the country. And today the enemy, so-called enemy, who was out to destroy you yesterday and did destroy you, he's freer than the poor slave. So we have a right to protest a lot of these things that we're supposed to be so patriotic.
Do you think the fact that you have been world champion, that you are very much in the public eye, that you are a personality, puts a greater responsibility upon someone like you for your part in the struggle?
Right, that's a good question. No, the reason is I've been on all these black movies they're making. You know, these low-rating black women in nude scenes with white men, and black men in nude scenes in the shower with white women, and selling dope, and Superfly and all these cotton come to Harlem, even the titles, Nigger Charlie and Cleopatra Jones and Blackenstein and Blackula and all these things which are really showing the worst of our society. Charlton Heston wouldn't do them, Clint Eastwood wouldn't do them, Burke Lancaster wouldn't do them, Anthony Quinn wouldn't do them. I turned on these type movies because of this image you're talking about. Cigarettes, whiskey, partying, women of all kinds, mainly white things that many of our black men do, many of our black women, which the masses look up to, singers like Diana Ross the Supremes, or somebody like Leslie Uggams, or somebody like, we can go on.
You need good models, good models.
Yeah, people do things that the masses are not good for the youth. It helps them, they think, but it don't help the masses. So anything that's gonna hurt the little children, like cigarettes or whiskey or taking pictures of blondes and smiling or going to, you never see me having parties after my fights on the bar, set up the bar up and all that. We go have some orange juice and say a prayer to Allah and be with my brothers, and that's it. But I'm trying to be one who can be not a male prostitute like many people have to do. Most black women get a job downtown, they gotta do things they don't wanna do. Models, black models and movie stars have to do things they don't wanna do. A lot of black men have to do things, get hit they don't wanna do. I wanna be one example I've been on the Time magazine, Life magazine. I done got as big as you can get in America. I'm on the satellites. I'm on your TV show. I'm on co-sale whenever I want to go. Sport Illustrated, every book. I'm the highest paid, and I'm 100% a follower of Elijah Muhammad, 100% free, and I don't
Independence means a great deal.
Oh, yes, to us, black people, to show other black people coming up and to show those who are here that you don't have to necessarily, you know, do this to make it and sell yourself and your people. Because I'm as bold as you can get. Just my name alone, I follow the boldest, most courageous black man, and I'm totally free and independent, and I hope some can see this and see that they don't have to crawl and kiss people's boots so much just to make it.
Your friends have said about you that you could have become anything you might have wanted to become. Is there anything else that you might have wanted to become or that you hope to become?
Well, if I was back at 12 years old and I had a chance and you told me that I wasn't going to make it to boxing, unfortunately, I didn't study in school like I should, and I wasn't enthused to read and write and work. I hate reading. I hate all that book work. I hate all that studying and tests and stuff. I don't know what I would have done. If I had my choice, just to say it, if that mean I could have been it, I'd been a doctor.
A doctor? Why?
I like to help people. If I see a man sick, just to know that I can operate on him and help him, or a person in pain, I can relieve him. Or probably would have been a lawyer, or just a policeman. I see a lot of things happening today. I wish I was a policeman. I could jump out of my car and stop it. You see things happening. See a fella going through the street doing 100 mile an hour, 50 miles on where they're children. You wish you could just pull him over and lock him up. So, so I've probably been a policeman. Anything where I can help people. So when I fight, my only thought is, what can I do to help the black man with this title? I won't be here long. What can I say? Where can I go? What appearance can I make? And so God, let me whoop his man tonight, because I want to take this and not sell out my people and not use them or go over here with the white people, but I want to stay right with my people to help my people and use this to influence to help them. So this is why I fight, just to help my people.
Thank you very much.